Rockford also some pockets of heavier rain at this time, but nothing that really stands out saying we need to watch this for a severe storm. It's mostly a lot of wet weather. Look at this view back to the west. All this rain from Louisiana, a steady flow across Mississippi that's going to be moving through late tonight, and some of this will be around early tomorrow morning when you hit the road. So again, the big story, the risk for flooding. We need to watch for some of those storms there, risk for some hail producers, gusty winds, and that it's not a zero threat, but you can see there is a low tornado threat, not totally zero. Just need to stay alert tomorrow. And again, we will be watching another risk. It looks like it comes up as we go into our weekend. But use the code on your screen right now. You'll see it right here. Scan that code to download the WBRC First Alert Weather app. One of the great tools to have when you need those alerts and information on your phone, and not just severe weather alerts. You get precipitation alerts, also lightning alerts. Now, what we want to talk about is the rainfall potential here over the next few days. You know, we talked about that flood risk as we go to meteorologist Tania Michelle. Tania, looks like into the day tomorrow, there's a chance that we could end up with over 4 inches of rain in some areas.
Yeah, Wes, and I think the big question now is how much have we seen from this rain event so far, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the past 24 hours. Of course, these numbers are going to continue to increase as we continue to collect more rain over the next several hours and really for the next couple of days. But over the past 24 so far, we have recorded 2.3 inches of rainfall for parts of far northwest central Alabama. If you're over in Marion, Winston, Lamar, Fayette, and even Walker County, you guys have seen the bulk of the rain so far. The heaviest of the rain has pushed through your area. We're tracking more of that heavy rain that moved through over the past hour or so in far east Alabama. But notice close to an inch there in Pickens County, half of an inch in parts of Jefferson County, and even up towards Blount County, and possibly over an inch now in parts of Chilton County. So the rain will continue to accumulate as we continue to track rain showers and the potential for storms throughout these first alert weather days. But meteorologist Matt Daniel is going to join us now with the latest on what we can expect for Saturday's severe threat. He has more details.
Well, as you know, we got an active weather pattern and don't like to look ahead after blah, blah, blah. Let's do that one more time. 3, 2, 1. Well, as you know, we've got an active weather pattern for us even as we go into this weekend. We're going to focus a lot on tomorrow, of course, but Saturday, I want to give you a little heads up, a first alert that we could see another round of strong and severe storms. Right now, the timing looks like it could be during the overnight hours. We don't like that because a lot of you are in bed sleeping. You may not be aware of any warnings that are issued, so that's something to watch Saturday night and a Sunday morning. And the threats, damaging winds, maybe a couple of tornadoes possible, but there's still a lot of uncertainty this far out in time on the exact timing and the exact intensity. There's a chance perhaps it could be weaker, could be stronger, just depends on that timing. So here's the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Notice it does include us, but it also includes Mississippi and Louisiana, and I really think this is the area that's going to have the greatest potential for severe weather, especially during the peak heating hours of Saturday afternoon and into the evening hours. But for us, we are included in that risk for the chance for some tornadoes, maybe some damaging winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. And of course, some heavy rain. Can't rule out some flooding as well with this next system. So here's the setup that we're tracking for Saturday. Of course, we're going to cool down briefly Friday, but there is a chance we're going to see some warm air move in as we go throughout the day Saturday. So that's going to be something to watch. We could see some showers here and there, but generally Saturday afternoon's trending drier with the bulk of the stormy weather still out to our west. So by 5 p.m., we're probably going to be tracking some active storms, maybe some warnings in Louisiana, maybe southern Arkansas, and then going into Mississippi. The latest trends are showing this cold front, the system moving in overnight. So this is showing around 2 a.m., maybe a line of strong and severe storms. Can't rule out some damaging winds once again, and maybe a brief tornado as this slides through. And then once this moves through the area, we're looking at some colder air returning as we go into Sunday evening, Sunday night, and into next Monday. So one thing that we look at with severe weather is the ingredients. Wind shear and the storm fuel. If they meet up, the odds are more likely we're going to see some stronger storms. So notice as we go towards 3 p.m. Saturday afternoon, you see all those greens, that's a lot of unstable air. So this is where I'm thinking the biggest setup could develop when it comes to those strong and severe storms. Meanwhile, here in parts of north and central Alabama, North Georgia, stable and cool air. So that's a good thing. We don't want to see any of these colors in our area. But notice there is a chance as we go to the overnight hours, some of that unstable air moves east. It won't be as intense as it would be in Louisiana and Mississippi, mainly because we got the sun's already set and we might stabilize a little bit. So that could be one saving grace on limiting the severe potential for us Saturday night and Sunday. And just comparing the weather models, the GFS is showing rain and the unstable air moving in around midnight, early Sunday morning. The European sort of showing the same thing, some storms with some unstable air moving in. So I think our saving grace could hopefully be less unstable air, which would mean less of a severe threat. But a lot can still change. We'll keep following it. Just make sure you have multiple ways to receive those alerts. Download the WBRC First Alert weather app. And of course, when it comes to overnight events, we always recommend having that NOAA weather radio. And of course, if there's any warnings, we'll let you know. We'll be streaming it live here and of course on social media and online. So be aware of that. But it looks like an active pattern. We'll keep you updated as we get the latest details.
Seconds, we continue to talk about the severe weather threat for your Wednesday and talk about if you need to pull the coat back out for the start of next week, when to expect a threat for a hard freeze after the break. Stay with us. Well, look at all of this rain that is moving our way. We haven't seen a look like this on the radar in quite some time. Just a steady flow of rain that's going to continue throughout the night. There was one little area to the south where we had some pockets of heavy rain. We actually had one storm. I noticed some lightning into Perry County, but it's the southern extent of this. It's right there along where some of that more warm and unstable air is located. We got to watch tomorrow as that warm, we call it the warm sector. If that tries to make its way further north, there could be some strong to severe storms down into the southern part of the area especially. But bottom line, still plenty of rain throughout the day. There's probably going to be some rumbles area wide as that heavier rain moves through the area. This system impacts the state. Highs in the 60s, and rain totals, as we were talking about, could top 4 inches easily in some locations by Thursday morning. Winds are going to pick up, especially where we have some storms out there, but winds pick up out of the south to southeast direction for tomorrow. But it has been very interesting, the temperature contrast, Tania, across the state today. 40s in some areas, and to the south we've had 70s.
Yeah, Wes, listen, I don't know what to tell people to wear. As long as you have your umbrella and rain jacket today, I guess you're doing good. But some of you need a heavier jacket, while others of you could have probably still been outside with short sleeves today. Here's a look at those current temperatures sent in by our First Alert weather watcher. Starting off in Graysville, Debbie Alexander, 53 degrees. Not only did they report temperatures, but they also report our rainfall totals. And you can see close to an inch in Oakman from Sarah Porter, 50 degrees in, well, 53 in Oxford from Jerry Peak, but just around a tenth of an inch of rain. Alabaster closer to an inch from John King, and a little bit warmer there, 66. Upper 40s in Piedmont, and it's a lot cooler, low 40s there in Galesville from Tommy Stalling. So the rain is still coming down. Those are those current temperatures, but I want to show you those current temperatures area wide. Again, we have a big drastic difference in temperatures, 46 up in Coleman, 59 in Chilton County. But this is the next big thing that we're tracking. We're tracking colder conditions heading into next week. So here we are early Friday morning, Valentine's Day, seeing some temperatures possibly below freezing, upper 20s, low 30s, and then it's going to be pretty cold heading into early next week with more freezing temperatures possible. Monday, 23 degrees. So get ready for more cold weather on the way. Winter already making a comeback across parts of the country. Check out this stunning image out in Hatfield, Kentucky. This was shared by Mary Reed on Twitter from earlier this morning. This comes as heavy snow continues to push into the mid-Atlantic and bringing dangerous ice and power outages. And we're taking you back to the skies now with meteorologist Megan Thomas as she talks about tomorrow's full moon.
I know we've been talking about the rain and the thunderstorms expected between today and early Thursday morning, but if you get the chance and there's a break in it, we've got a full moon on Wednesday. It is actually going to be full right at 7:53 a.m. So if you get a picture, send it to us on our app. But unfortunately, again, it does look like the rain may inhibit it. But here's some fun full moon facts. So it's named a full moon because the moon is on the opposite side of the earth from the sun, which is being illuminated. It appears full for about 2 to 3 nights, but remember that peak is that one night on the 12th. And it rises right around sunset and sets around sunrise. So almost the exact opposite of obviously the sun. So why is it called a snow moon this month? Well, it's usually due to the heavy snowfall typically seen this time of year, according to the Farmer's Almanac. And the peak illumination, again, is going to be at 7:53 a.m. Central Time on Wednesday. With that being said, we're going to be dodging a lot of rain and some thunderstorms at that time, so the full moon may not be visible, but still something fun to think about.
Thanks, Megan. Don't go anywhere, though, because we have more on the chance for flooding, unfortunately. As we prepare to close out the week, we take you to North Carolina also, where a major step has been taken in the road to recovery from Hurricane Helene. We'll be right back. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
All right, it's time to break down this forecast. You are watching First Alert Weather Extra, and we are covered up with rain across Alabama. We've been talking about it, and here it is. It is going to be a rainy night. Now, out of all this, if there's one location where we could end up with some trouble spots with flooding, it's right there. You see those reds. That doesn't necessarily mean it's severe, but it means that some heavy rainfall that is coming down, sending back those very strong reflectivities. Now, when we actually go to rotation detector, you can see there's no strong rotation with any of this. It's all behaving, just some gusty winds and a lot of rain. But I'm zoomed in right now over Coosa County, and it looks like as far as rainfall rates, some of the heaviest of the wet weather right now impacting areas from Rockford over into southern Chilton County and down into Autauga County. But this will slide on to the south, and temperatures will take a tumble. It's been noticeably warmer to the south. We had some 70s. Further north, we're still in the 40s, and that's because we have this stalled front across the region. We've got a lot of moisture. Look at this steady flow of rain that will be with us through tomorrow morning and during the day tomorrow. But the thing is, tomorrow all this starts to kind of lift north again, and that allows all that more unstable air to start to migrate northward throughout the day. Could some of this end up in our southern counties? That's what we got to watch out for with respect to the threat of tornadoes tomorrow. But clearly you can see the high resolution data is really favoring down into the southern part of the state. But if we do have a severe storm tomorrow afternoon, the risk for tornadoes there. It's an isolated tornado threat, but not zero. So we need to pay close attention to that, and also possibly some damaging wind gusts and some large hail. And even though it's cold to the north, I still think we could have some storms. We could have some elevated storms, which may bring some gusty winds, maybe some hail producers at times. So it is going to be a rainy, stormy day at times tomorrow. Lots of rumbles out there, but the most intense storms, especially down into South Alabama. Let's take it into tomorrow morning. Maybe a couple of breaks, but it's just off and on rain, as you can see there throughout the day. But notice by 2 o'clock, this one model shows 70 at Clinton. That's quite the turnaround. I mean, we're going to cool off into the 50s tonight, back to near 70 tomorrow, showing 70 at Centerville, 71 in Marion. And again, that could lead to some heavier rain and stronger storms. And look, 9 o'clock tomorrow night, still some heavy rain impacting parts of the area. And this won't wrap up until the early morning hours on Thursday. That's why we did include Thursday in the First Alert Weather Day. But the rest of the day, Thursday, we will have some improvements. You're in good shape on Valentine's Day. You got those big dinner date plans. No issues, but coming this weekend, Saturday into Sunday, it looks like now overnight Saturday into Sunday morning, a line of rain and storms. Could we see severe weather? It's a possibility. We need to watch that for this weekend. So a lot that we're tracking. Again, as Tania was talking about, notice those cold mornings early Friday and early Monday showing 24 degrees there to start the day. Next week, Monday and Tuesday, we've got some dry conditions to kick things off, but some rain comes back around the middle of the week. And it's kind of interesting here as we go to meteorologist Tania Michelle. Tania, I was watching some of the data come in this afternoon, and it was also suggesting with this colder weather, maybe parts of Tennessee, further north, might have a close call with some winter weather around the middle of next week.
You said it, not me, Wes. You said it, not
Hey,
me.
It's basically saying winter is still here.
Yes, winter is definitely still here. So we could possibly see some wintry mix, some flurries, not maybe here, but definitely areas to our north have a better chance. So let's take people beyond the 7-day so we can really start to break this down here. Okay, so we're looking at our temperature outlook first of all, and notice that much of the East Coast and many states really splitting kind of in half, a little bit more of the states dealing with below average temperatures than the far West Coast, but we're seeing above average temperatures for parts of California. So if you have a trip out there, you're enjoying the warmth, a little bit warmer. But here down across the southeast, as we close out the month of February and get closer to the end of this month, we're tracking colder conditions. So what does that mean for you? Well, you might want to start thinking about bringing out that heavy coat again. I know you put it away. You brought out the shorts and the short sleeves. Put it back or bring it back. We're looking at our precipitation outlook, more below average conditions for parts of the Midwest over towards California, but the southeast, including us right here at home, dealing with more above average rainfall. So we're going to still see a very wet and active pattern as we get closer to the end of this month. So that means hold on to your umbrella and rain jacket too. So we talked about the wet weather this week, the possible chance for storms this weekend, but our next system that could be bringing in some wintry mix, some flurries, areas north, is possibly going to be around Wednesday, February the 19th. So this is beyond the 7-day. This does not mean tomorrow. Tomorrow's definitely too warm for winter weather, but we're watching very closely the middle of next week as we look closer to 7 7 or 10 days out from now. Okay, so that's beyond the 7-day, but what else am I talking about? I'm still talking about colder temperatures. So this is part of the next big thing too. We definitely have a cold Friday morning. We're talking about temperatures down in the 30s, below freezing or right at freezing. Another cold morning will be around for your Monday early next week, possibly some teens, if not low 20s. That's Monday. And then we bring in Tuesday morning down into the 30s again. And then Wednesday morning, we're possibly seeing near freezing temperatures again. And I was just showing you that system where we could possibly see some snow flurries for far areas north. Well, a major highway in western North Carolina is expected to partially reopen by the beginning of next month. Interstate 40 near the North Carolina-Tennessee state line has been closed since late September after landslides by Helene washed out sections of the road. And as Ed Diorio reports, federal officials say they are trying to speed up the timeline for the highway to be permanently rebuilt.
At least it will start the process of reconnecting Western North Carolina with the rest of the country.
In less than 3 weeks, the road that traditionally sees over 20,000 drivers will have 2 lanes open with restricted speed limits.
Our federal partners, they've given us about $350 million in Federal Highway Administration funds. That's helped them have the confidence to attack this 24/7.
Those federal partners include U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. He visited the area for the first time on Monday and laid out how his office, the NCDOT, and the U.S. Forest Service will utilize a special use permit to use rock and extract construction materials from the nearby river.
The Forest Service, who has access to rock that's only a mile or 3 away, as opposed to getting rock 25 to 30 miles away. If we can get that local rock, it's going to mean this project happens much more cost effectively and probably in a third of the amount of time.
We're going to be able to start releasing some of the federal funds to NCDOT to make sure that there's no break.
Congressman Chuck Edwards was with Senators Thom Tillis and Ted Budd during Duffy's briefing. While a permanent reconstruction is likely over a year away,
But we all need to keep pressing together to make sure we have the resources that we need to get the job done.
From here,
Duffy says his office will have that same urgency.
the president has indicated he is fully supported to the rebuild. Our department is as well, and I think you're going to have the resources necessary to help you make sure you're made whole after this disaster.
All right, Tania, a lot of rain out there tonight. Want to be safe and take it slow.
Absolutely. We'll have more forecast updates tonight on those rain and storm chances the rest of the week.
Yeah, updating you on that severe risk tomorrow. We'll see you at 9.
Have a good evening.